Yeah, I know. Video essays coming soon, I promise, swear to God. Yeah, sure, let's talk about CGI James Dean, because what the fuck? What are we doing? Alright, for those who are not in the know, The Hollywood Reporter published an article today talking about this new project coming up called Finding Jack, which is apparently going to be based off of a novel and is about the Vietnam War era and about these 10,000 military dogs that were kind of left abandoned and without resources. And what the directors of the film ended up kind of revealing is that the secondary role in this movie will be performed by a CGI likeness of James Dean, the young actor and cultural icon from films such as Rebel Without a Cause. He will be resurrected and brought back to life through the magic of CGI and manipulation of archival footage and imagery to play the secondary role in this movie. What? The one silver lining that I found in this whole thing is that at least they got permission from the family to be able to use his likeness. So there's that. Fine. One other thing I will add, using the likenesses of actors who have passed on, it's nothing new to film. Hell, just using the likenesses of any famous people or any significant people throughout history that passed away, that is a tale as old as the hills, as old as filmmaking itself at this point. Whether it's using archival footage of Bela Lugosi, B-roll footage that Ed Wood just shot for whatever purpose, that he just recycled and utilized over and over in his movies, whatever the context, he found a way to put Bela Lugosi in there somehow. Whether it's CGI Fred Astaire dancing with a vacuum cleaner back in the day for a Super Bowl commercial, I believe.
The amazing Dirt Devil Ultra Handbag.
Being able to superimpose Forrest Gump into famous historical footage or historical TV interviews. Even more recently with Rogue One, because that's kind of what everyone's going to as sort of the, we warned you and now you're doing it full on. I was willing to kind of let those instances sort of slide a little bit because my reasoning being, at least they weren't the focus of the movie. At least Grand Moff Tarkin, I think, has a total of like at most 4 minutes of screen time, I think. Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, has even less. Like, she has one scene, 20 seconds, and that's it. And of course, I'm sure the family's, allowed for the likenesses to be used to different degrees of success. Those eyes, just nothing there. But this, saying that you're going to put the likeness of a deceased actor in a starring, it is a starring role, it's secondary lead performance, and then claim it as one of his next big performances. Because let me give you a little quote here of what they said. We searched high and low for the perfect character to portray the role of Rogan, which has some extreme complex character arcs. And after months of research, we decided on James Dean. Guys, it's not gonna be him. It's going to be a mocap performance because you need someone to interact with all the actual on-set things. Certainly, you need James Dean to interact with his co-stars. And seeing as how probably a good majority of these co-stars are going to be canines, yeah, you're probably going to want an actual physical actor on the set, so mocap for one. 2, using photos and archival footage to put together a composite James Dean. We'll get back to that. 3, you're going to use a sound-alike, a voice actor who's going to kind of put their own spin on their James Dean impression. This is just pure exploitation of a dead man's likeness. And I'm really curious if the family, when they signed away the rights for James's likeness, knew that they were going to be utilizing his incorporation into the movie as a clickbaity point. Like, they couldn't just make the movie and then after the fact mention, oh yeah, we did something with here. You might does that actor look familiar? Oh yeah, because we did this with the technology. We want to, recreate a likeness of James Dean. No, they come out charging with, we're bringing him back from the dead for this one film. I'm sure the family loves that. I'm sure the family loves that that his likeness is being utilized before anything's even been shot. That it's being used as an exploitative headline. Now, don't get me wrong, there's things to appreciate about advancing technology. I'm glad CGI got to the point where I can appreciate it in something like, say, Jurassic Park, where I never thought I would see anything close to living, breathing dinosaurs, but damn it, they pulled it off in that film. To a digital performance that you can actually accredit to a team of technicians and a versatile on-set performer who has gone on to do great things just in and of himself. Andy Serkis with Gollum, Lord of the Rings. No one goes around saying that Smeagol was Smeagol's best performance. No, we all recognize the talent behind that as being Andy Serkis. So for them to come out and say, this is going to be the long-lost fourth James Dean movie, it's not. Take it easy, dudes. You are utilizing a dead actor's image for the sake of garnering some media attention and hoping that gets you some kind of prestige. Hoping that gets you some brownie points when it comes to awards season. More so than what they've done before. Like I mentioned before with the Rogue Ones, Forrest Gump interludes, with Paul Walker's likeness used in Fast and Furious. At least there, it kind of made sense because they wanted to pay tribute to Paul Walker. They wanted us to leave that movie missing him, but at the same time feeling at peace with his image, with his character, with him as an actor. That made sense. Here, where the actor's been dead for decades, I laughed out loud when I read, we searched far and wide, and after months of research, the only person we could think of to pull off this role is the guy who's been dead since 1955. Fire your casting director, because that's a shit job right there, guys. Now, granted, James Franco, right about now, is a little problematic, but you're telling me the guy who literally played James Dean at one point couldn't give you a James Dean-ish performance in this movie if you offered him the opportunity? Seriously? This is insanity. I'm sorry. I know I should be focusing. I'm almost done. I promise. I'm almost done with this video essay, and I hope you enjoy it and love it. I keep teasing you about it. I'm bad like that. I know I'm so bad, but it's like every week I look through my feed, or I look through my news feed, and some new random bullshit in the industry is cropping up, and I'm just like, what are you guys doing? When you're not faffing about whatever Scorsese thinks about Marvel movies, you're doing crazy stuff like this. I forget who posted a tweet, but they talked a little bit about Dr. Sleep. I promise this makes sense. This correlates. Because in Dr. Sleep, that's a sequel to The Shining. And as you might know, the film version of The Shining, quite a few actors have either aged out of their roles considerably or have passed away. R.I.P. Scatman. But apparently, this person commended Dr. Sleep on being able to find actors who look remarkably close to the original characters in the movie, and that they commend them for that, for actually relying on just good acting and good likenesses that already exist, that you don't have to manipulate in a certain way in order to garner that effect. It's not like you are trying to remake Rebel Without a Cause, God forbid, remake Rebel Without a Cause, and you're like, hey, you know what? Let's just bring James Dean back for the remake. This is a movie that, if it's done well in all other areas, shouldn't have to be reliant upon a specific performance from a specific actor who has been dead since the 50s for it to be successful. Immediately I thought, okay, the quality of the writing is probably going to be suspect because this is what they're charging out of the gates with. It's like, we're gonna digitally recreate the body of this dead man and make him dance for you, folks. What's our movie about? Who cares? CGI James Dean. It just feels, I don't know, because I know this happens all the time. There's a YouTube channel out there, Control Shift Face, I believe it's called, where the person doing the channel does some interesting things with deepfakes, where they essentially will superimpose Jim Carrey's face onto Jack Nicholson's in The Shining, or they'll transform Bill Hader's face in an interview with Conan into Tom Cruise when he does a Tom Cruise impression, or Arnold Schwarzenegger when he does an Arnold impression. That's actually kind of impressive, but it's clearly done for a comedic, intent. It's clearly done to show off the technology more so than to trick the audience, more so than to manipulate or deceive the audience, or to somehow be something of a disservice to the original actors or the actors whose faces they are replicating. This feels like it's steering into the usage of this technology where it gets very squishy, such as, I don't know, manipulating footage of living politicians for them to say whatever heinous things you want them to say, or, I don't know, superimposing a celebrity's face onto the body of a porn actress because that's a thing now. I don't feel good about this, guys. It's just this headline that easily distracted me from the real work I should be doing. So, good job, filmmakers. You got the clickbait out of me. I failed at the bait. Oh boy. This is where we're heading, guys. We're all just gonna be stored on a hard drive somewhere. Come 2050, and I'm either old as dirt or am actual dirt. You might see me in some old PewDiePie videos with blonde hair, speaking Swedish. What a time to be alive.